Present.
Is there anyone else participating in today's meeting who I've not called their name out? There we are, Chair. That is the roll call completed.
Thank you, Jane. Chair's announcements. Yeah, congratulations to Councillor Rob Wood on chairing his first joint committee. I said it's not so much congratulations; it's well done for surviving joint committees. It's can be quite an onerous task. So well done, Rob.
Thank you.
Declarations of interest. Anyone got any declarations to make? I'm seeing none indicated. Therefore, moving to the bus emergency scheme, which is outlined between pages 5 and 96. It's been given a good airing in scrutiny. Have officers got any other observations or comments to make?
Chair, I only wanted to make a comment. There was a lot of discussion about valleys, but some of the cabinet members here will know that we're affected in the urban areas as well. And Councillor Richards, Councillor Jones will be acutely aware of some of those issues. And just to reassure cabinet members that when Peter and I are talking with the consultants, that we'll be raising some of the urban areas within our communities also. Britain Ferry is another example where we've had some issues as well. Now, I've got nothing else to add, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Peter Jackson, anything you wish to add?
Nothing from me, Chair.
Okay, I will pick up on one point. The consultation group, the working group, does contain members of the rural workings within the WLGA, so the rural areas are also captured in relation to the consultation process. I've got two indications from members, Councillor Clement Williams first and then Councillor Peter Richards second. So Councillor Clement Williams, please.
Yeah, just to say I welcome what Dave Griffiths has just said. We are so close to everything, but I know a lot of our elderly residents on the hill up here in Baglan do struggle to get direct access to the hospital and the resource centre, etc. They have to do such a round trip that it can take hours for them just to get down to the moor. So very, very welcome comments from you, Dave Griffiths. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Richards, please.
Yes, I just echo Carol's comments there. With regards to the consultation, I'm sure they would take into consideration ageing populations, Dave and Peter, because that's one of the situations, you know, we have in some of the rural wards. Doreen would have exactly the same, because we have people have bought properties years and years ago in areas such as Baglan and Kilfrew, and you know that has to be a consideration when all these conversations take place. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Doreen Jones, please. You're on mute, Doreen.
Oh, between having a hand up and a mic on mute, I don't know where the hell I am. And I've had my injection as well, so I'm not. No, one of the things that as both Dave and Peter know, I've nagged them long enough. My concern is this is more or less for the subsidised bus routes to get into the bigger bus companies, isn't it, rather than the little private ones. I've got a little private one, and you know, running through my community, and that's what I'm more concerned about, the knock-on effect, if any, it would have on those sort of bus services.
Do you want to come back with that, Mr. Griffiths?
Yeah, it's fair to say that the sort of BES2 agreement is complex in terms of its content and the legal arrangements, and I think that could frighten a lot of these small operators. But there will be there's been a separate briefing paper produced for the operators by Welsh Government and TfW. Obviously, we will be we will be supporting those operators in getting them through this process as well. We can't afford to lose them. We need the likes of Ridgeways and other operators within the county. So, yeah, your point is well made, Councillor.
Thank you, Mr. Griffiths. Any other comments from colleagues? Councillor Peter Rees.
Thank you, Rob. Can I ask? There's a reference about the Welsh government. If this agreement doesn't come about, the Welsh government taking over. What did Rob? You mentioned in a previous meeting some disquiet amongst leaders about this agreement. Can you clarify that for me?
There was some early discussions in relation to not so much Welsh government taking over control.
TF Wales, was it?
Well, yeah, but it was a case of without a substantial agreement being placed, then local authorities could have been in a position of being bypassed, more to the point. So we wouldn't have had that involvement to the degree that this is what we are agreeing this afternoon. So I can see Councillor Latham's got his hand up. So Deputy, would you like to say?
Yeah, Peter is right, and it has been mentioned, but in the meeting that I attended on Monday of this week with the 4 regional chairs, along with the rural chairs that you've just mentioned, with the Deputy Minister, I mean, they were all, the officials were left in no doubt whatsoever that local authorities have got to be involved in bus transport. There's no way will this be handed over to Welsh Government because you're just taking the local out of local transport. And it's a point that was acknowledged by the Deputy Minister. So although Peter was right to raise a point, I mean, it was unanimous across the board that local authorities have got to be involved. Just one other quick point, Rob, and you've mentioned it previously. I mean, I've only been to one WLGA meeting about this. This really is a quagmire. It's a minefield. There's so much to sort out here. It's unbelievable. And purely and simply, it goes back to deregulation. That's when we lost the use of the buses, and now we're trying to get back to where we were. And it's not going to happen overnight. And that's why I'm glad Suzanne picked up on the points of the recommendations. We're not signing nothing away here. This is just the beginning of what's going to be, you know, a long road.
Thank you for that, Ted. Thanks very much.
A long
road. The efforts that you were putting in.
No pun intended.
A long road. All right, thanks for that, Peter. This is the start of a journey to get a more integrated transport system to encourage people back onto the buses and to link transport for the public across the spheres of rail and bus transport. So unless there are any further indications, which I'm not seeing any, I'll move to the recommendation. Recommendation is situated on page 12 of the report, and you'll see that there are 4 substantial recommendations, A, B, C, and D. I move those recommendations. Can I have a seconder, please?
Yeah, certainly, Rob.
Thank you.
Second.
Anyone abstain or object to those recommendations? I'm seeing no indications, therefore that item is approved. I have had no indications going back to the agenda of any urgent items, so therefore that concludes Cabinet for today. So can I thank you for attending and keep safe, people. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye all, stay safe.
Well.
Bye, everyone.